Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. I particularly want to welcome Representative Katrina Shaiklin and Mayor Mike Wiesa, Secretary Brennan, and of course, our Governor and our Lieutenant Governor for coming and being with us and having a conversation with us. The mission of this university can be summed up in two words: student success. And our commitment to communities is spelled out carefully in our partnership for thriving communities, where we are committed to helping communities be more vibrant, more healthy, more sustainable, and more prosperous. A perfect example of these efforts is with our partnership with the Encourage Foundation and the Tribune Project in Wisconsin Rapids. This is a grassroots initiative that will transform this community. The state budget is critical in helping communities help themselves. And creating the state budget can be a very complicated process. But that's why we have to make sure we get it right, and sessions like that, like tonight, will certainly move us in that direction. We're fortunate that the governor and the lieutenant governor chose Stevens Point for their first listening session regarding the people's budget. And I really like that phrase because it fits so well with our mission here at the university, our partnership for thriving communities, and particularly what we're doing with the Encourage Foundation over in Wisconsin Rapids. So, to get things started, let me introduce Representative Katrina Shaiklin. She was elected to the 71st Assembly District in the Wisconsin Assembly in 2012. And since then, she's worked very hard to represent her district and all of Wisconsin. She may be one of the hardest working people down in the state capitol. Yes. I particularly want to thank her and Senator Testin for their bipartisan efforts on the paper caucus. Paper industry is really important to this part of the state. 100% of our students in our paper science program get jobs when they graduate. Some of them have job offers a year before they graduate. And do you know that Amazon uses 1.6 million boxes a day? Somebody's got to make that paper, and we do it right here in Wisconsin. I also want to thank Representative Shaiklin for arranging for our hockey team to be recognized on the Assembly for the National Division III Men's Hockey Championship right here at Stevens Point. Number 6. Welcome, Representative Shaiklin.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see this room packed, and I want to welcome everyone here. Thank you, Chancellor Patterson. He mentioned that Secretary Brennan from the Department of Administration is here. We also have the Department of Revenue Secretary Peter Barca, my former colleague and still friend. Very excited to see you here as well. Thank you so much. We have many legislators here as well, so thank you to the many state legislators who are here to listen to you all. I think it's a huge deal that Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes and our Governor Tony Evers came to Stevens Point as their first stop on the People's Budget listening tour. And let me tell you, it's not a coincidence. They have worked very hard to put together a budget based on what the people have to say, and they traveled all around the state to listen to you, and now they're coming back. And it's amazing as a legislator to just Monday, I saw Governor Evers and our Attorney General call in Wausau touring the crime lab, and today, just 2 days later, Governor Evers is back in central Wisconsin, along with Lieutenant Governor Barnes, who was just here in February, by the way. So I want to point out how hardworking and effective these state leaders are. We're very grateful to have them here at UW Stevens Point listening to all of you. And I'm thrilled and honored to have my former Assembly colleague as well, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes here. He is a tremendous leader, and as I said, he already came to visit UWSP in February to tour the water lab. So we're not just excited, but I would say honored to have them here again tonight to listen to you. So without further ado, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Patterson. Thank you so much, Representative Shaiklin. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be back at Stevens Point. It's a very exciting time, having introduced the budget and Chancellor mentioned that the budget can be a very difficult process, which it can be, but it was made much easier because we built this budget with input from people all across the state. That's why it's called the People's Budget. This is truly crafted with the ideas and the vision that people thought was necessary to move the state of Wisconsin forward. So I'm really excited. Budgets aren't usually exciting documents particularly, but this one is because there are a lot of problems that we have to fix, a lot of things that have been neglected as far as education, environment, healthcare, you name it, issues that have been ignored in all parts of the state for far too long, and this is where we change that trend. This is where we change the direction of the state of Wisconsin to move in a more positive way. So again, thank you, Representative Shanklin, for the introduction. Thank you, Chancellor Patterson, for having us, and the entire UW-Stevens Point campus for hosting us tonight. Again, I am Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. Again, very happy to talk about the people's budget, but more excited to listen, to hear what you all have to say about how we can make this budget even more strong, about how we can make sure that legislators are voting in the interest of people when the time comes to cast votes on this budget. Our team worked incredibly hard, and I want to thank everybody from my staff, everybody from the governor's staff who's in the room today as well. And now we're bringing this budget back to the people. And we want to hear your feedback and talk about how and why this budget will work for all of us. So with that being said, thanks again. I am Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, really excited to get to work on this budget, and also even more excited to introduce my friend. They told me to mention the co-star to the Tony Mandela Show, and our governor, you know him, you love him, Tony Evers.
I wish I was able to be with Lieutenant Governor Barnes every day. It's such a pleasure to be with him. He's doing such a great job. So it's good to be back in Stevens Point with you tonight. And thank you, Chancellor Bernie Peterson for Patterson, for your great leadership, and of course Katrina Shanklin for your leadership. And I know we've identified some people here tonight that are elected officials, and I want to add 4 to that, and I hope I'm not eliminating anybody. Representative Considine, you are here. Representative Hintz, Hebel, and Emerson. Can you wave and say greetings tonight?
Representative Steve Doyle is here.
Oh, Steve Doyle is here also. Thank you, Steve, for being here. Appreciate that. We're kind of coming full circle here. Mandela and I traveled across the state before we proposed our budget and developed our budget, and listened to people all across the state of Wisconsin, and just the way we're going to do it tonight. And last time we went to Green Bay, Wausau, Milwaukee, La Crosse, and Superior to hear directly from people what they wanted in the budget. And based on what we heard, we created that budget that prioritized the issues that Wisconsin families talked about at those sessions. And they run the full gamut from fully funding our schools, and of course increasing resources for our higher education institutions like UW-Stevens Point, fixing our crumbling roads and bridges, and making sure that healthcare is affordable and accessible, among other things. And that's why we're traveling across the state again with our people's budget. We took that information, we developed the budget, we submitted it to the legislature, and I submitted it to the people of Wisconsin about a month ago now. And the good news is that I think the budget, and I believe you do too, are issues that will address issues that are important to the state of Wisconsin and actually accomplish some things. If I learned anything from this, from the last campaign, is there's a handful of issues that are very important, but at the end of the day, what people want is for us as politicians to actually accomplish something. And we can do that. And we can do that, and as you see in the media, there's always huffing and puffing going on, but at the end of the day, we will be accomplishing some things, and we will be reaching common ground, and we will be doing the people's work. And so tonight, what we're doing is we're going to be talking again with you in these small groups, and this is going to be different. If you haven't been involved with one of these in the past, please I hope you enjoy it. I enjoy listening to it. We are here, Lieutenant Governor and myself, to listen. We will be moving from area to area just to listen in. But this is an opportunity for you as taxpayers in the state, you as people that are concerned about the issues facing our state, to have an opportunity to interact with each other. With the facilitator, we'll be taking down information, and by doing that, we can kind of double down and understand how important this is, and we want to hear from you if this budget is meeting your priorities. So the bottom line here, this is not Lieutenant Governor Barnes' budget or Tony Evers' budget, it's the people's budget. And we want to do a recheck on that to make sure that we're saying the right thing. So we're going to need your help going forward after tonight. Clearly, budget making is probably messier than making sausage. A lot of times they say it's similar to it. I have a hunch that it's actually worse. But we have to make sure that the people are heard. And so after tonight, we'll be encouraging people to involve themselves with the Joint Finance Committee and other legislators across the state of Wisconsin. But first, we want to hear from you. And so let's get together and have those conversations. I'm going to have Stephanie Hilton come up here. She's one of our staff members in the governor's office, does a great job working with legislators, and she'll be giving you the lowdown on exactly the procedures we're going to be following tonight. But thank you so much for being here tonight.